Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Chatter Squadron, your weekly dose of Star Wars fun and villainy. My name is Tyler Bucks.
And my name is Logan Hansaker. What is up, you rebel scum?
Well, I would like to welcome everybody to a Chatter Squadron therapy session. Now, we know that everyone at some point has had a deep fear of, and I'm going to say it, so don't get too scared now,
Drowning.
Stormtroopers.
Stormtroopers.
Okay, well, so let's all spin that fear positive and rank our favorite Stormtrooper armor together.
And let's drown our sorrows together.
Don't pretend like you meant to do that earlier.
All planned. The whole show was planned.
We had a phone call early in the week. I said we're going to do the Stormtrooper thing, and I'm going to bring up how people were afraid of it, and I think that's when you just kind of tuned out.
Yeah, we're going to do the episode about fears. And that's what I prepped on. Spiders. Heights.
Okay. Well, either way, we are going to be talking about Stormtroopers, and we are ranking them like we did with the Geonosian battle. Here is the rank list that we have so far. So in the comments below, tell us how right and or wrong we are getting these. The first one we're going to be doing are Range Troopers. The Range Troopers debuted in Solo during the epic train heist scene. They wore heavy mechanized boots to keep them fixed to the train as it spun around on the very not straight track. Yeah, I heard spinning's a good trick even when it comes to trains.
Also, the word curved apparently doesn't exist.
Additionally, they wore heavy armor and coats to keep them warm in the frigid temperatures. Now, Logan, what did you think about these guys? They were pretty stylish. They had like fur coats basically on, as well as being Stormtroopers.
I think I'm a fashion over function type of guy.
Yeah.
So as much as they have the boots that they can stick to the train, super cool.
Right.
It's the fur. It's the fur
that
takes the cake.
Well, I'm concerned we're going to put this much higher than maybe they should deserve to be, but I feel like they're a good B.
I was going to say B.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and thomp that. Is that a word? Thomp it?
Let's thomp it in there.
Let's thomp it into B.
Who knows?
The next one, Logan, would you like to tell them about the Patrol Trooper?
Patrol Troopers. To cover distances across sprawling settlements and cities, Patrol Troopers police the streets aboard their swift C-PH patrol speeder bikes and were armed with EC-17 holdout blasters.
I feel like we are pretty Solo heavy this early on in the ranking because this one is also from Solo. To me personally, this one, as you can see there in the corner, doesn't really scream the most like brand new to me.
No.
That armor. It feels very kind of like, I don't know, let's just make it have some extra black, accents to it.
Yeah. And the speeders that they ride aren't that cool either. I know it's not the armor.
I actually like the speeders. The ones that are like
just a brick.
Yeah.
Just a block.
Sorry to say. But here's the thing. I like the black accents more than just a normal Stormtrooper. So I would probably put them in B as well.
I'm going to go C.
You're going to go C? All right. I will see you on that. I don't know what I'm saying.
I will see you later.
After the show and beat you up for doing that. The next person who would probably beat you up is an Incinerator Trooper. Incinerator Troopers carry around flamethrowers and a backpack. Are they connected?
Right.
Do they have a flamethrower and then also a backpack?
You would think the backpack is for fuel. It's books. They like to study.
Yeah, they're
scholars.
These Incinerator Troopers are taking their masters now, so they have to study while they're incinerating.
Their helmets double as bifocals.
They're old too, apparently. They also have distinct red markings that call back to clone troopers from the Republic. Interestingly, this is notably unusual among Imperial era troopers, which is interesting because maybe they were doing like the whole red thing to say like, hey, this one's fire.
Right.
These red ones, they do the fire thing.
They do the flyer.
The flyer.
I can't speak. I notoriously hate flamethrowers.
What?
They're the worst.
How is that? I don't know that about you. I didn't know this notorious thing of like, so we're all talking in a group. You went and got some drinks, and while you're away, I have to tell everyone else, like, just so you know, don't bring up flamethrowers.
He really hates it.
Logan hates flamethrowers. I didn't know this about you.
Yeah, I had shirts made and everything. Like, people know this. The internet knows this about me. No, I think they're the most useless weapon. It's like when you're like 9 years old and everyone, like the kids around you at school, learn about flamethrowers and like bazookas, like the guns that you think are like so cool. But here's why everyone thinks flamethrowers are cool. The times that you see them used in movies, that's like the 1% of the time that you can actually use a flamethrower. Like they don't show them in long distance battles just standing behind a wall just waiting to use it. It's the worst.
I do feel that flamethrowers are like as perilous as sand. What is that? Like the sand that you sink into? What's that called?
Quicksand.
Like when you grew up, you're like, oh, quicksand's going to be crazy as we grow up. And flamethrowers, someone's chasing me with a flamethrower towards quicksand. What am I going to do? That never happens nowadays.
No.
Or maybe it does, and we just live in like not an area where people use flamethrowers and have quicksand.
Or quicksand. Yeah. Turns out quicksand wasn't as big of a problem as I thought it was going to be when we were children.
So then there's the question is, what are you going to do with this incinerator?
D.
I feel like D for you. Fine, go for it.
I hate him. The only thing that I'll bring it back up is the style. Their outfits are cool. The armor looks very cool. I like the red.
Okay.
That's why he's even listed.
Now, here is where we get into a part of the show where I am going to gush about Scout Troopers. The Scout Troopers debuted in Return of the Jedi and made an instant impression. These baby punchers zoomed around speeder bikes with speeder bikes on the forest moon of Endor being taken down. Are you laughing at your own notes?
I forgot.
They zoomed around Endor, being taken down by an angry horde of Ewoks. Why do these guys only fight things smaller than them? Did you find out in the time? Do you know why they fight things smaller than them?
No.
Insecurity?
Yeah.
Okay, so Scout Troopers. Here's my opinion on Scout Troopers. They're my favorite Stormtrooper armor. I remember looking at them growing up and being like, okay, if I ever had to be a Stormtrooper, I'd be a Scout Trooper.
It's the helmets.
They're so cool.
It's the helmet.
Plus, the rest of their armor is like more trimmed down. You're not wearing like full suit of armor. I thought they were the coolest. I'm putting them in S tier, if you ask me.
I agree. I will have no issue with that. They were the coolest growing up. If we were going to be Stormtroopers, I would be a Scout Trooper. I think now that we've had sequel movies, there's some cooler variations that have come out, but if we're talking as children, these were the guys.
Well, I even remember in Revenge of the Sith, they had those clone troopers that were like Scout Troopers, but they were camouflage.
Yeah, yep.
That was pretty cool too. But no, it's the helmet. You're right. It's the little visor.
It's so cool. It was the coolest.
Plus, not many people know this, but if you look at their like, little mouth thing, they have one of the little like Stormtrooper mouths on the bridge of their nose.
Oh, they punch babies.
Moving on, Logan, would you like to talk about Death Troopers?
Death Troopers,
robots in disguise.
That's their disguise.
Yeah,
it's like I think they're just robots in Death Trooper uniforms. These highly elite soldiers tend to be much taller and athletic than the average trooper, and they have some cyborg. May have some cyborg components to them. Like that adds up.
Yeah.
They typically guarded the high-ranking Imperial officers, as seen with Director Krennic in Rogue One, and also Moff Gideon in The Mandalorian.
So, come on, Death Troopers are super rad.
They're cool.
I would put them in an A tier. What do you think when it comes to Death Troopers? I feel like they should stand out to me more than they do. I think their armor looks super. Actually, might be one of the coolest looking armors if we're just going by look. But they don't jump out at me. Like I'm not like if you were to say, do you like Scout Troopers or Death Troopers more? I'd say Scout Troopers. But Death Troopers might look cooler. I should have worn my Death Trooper hoodie today.
Yeah.
I'm going with A. What do you think?
I think A.
A?
Yeah.
Go ahead and throw it down up into A. Down up into A?
Throw it down up into A. It has to go down into D and then to shoot back
up into A.
Into A.
If you hear some dogs barking, it's because they wanted Death Troopers to be much further down on the list.
Yeah, they're not happy with our choices.
Yes. Our biggest demographic is dogs.
Canines.
We're moving on to Mud Troopers. So Mud Troopers, once again in Solo, feature basic elements of Imperial armor found in other variants, particularly Snow Troopers. They also incorporate a breathing mask to help themselves fight properly in harsh environments and also not breathe in mud.
True.
So Mud Troopers, I'm fine with putting them in a D tier because they're not really like that crazy cool looking.
I think the coolest thing for me, go ahead. Did I cut you off?
No.
Because the coolest thing for me is the fact that they don't really look like Stormtroopers. But that's like
But
all
we're
they have
rating
going.
Stormtrooper armor. I feel like you should
I know. It's D.
D.
I panicked.
I twisted your arm. All right. Would you like to talk about AT-AT drivers?
Yes, the Imperial AT-AT driver in some ways has more in common with the TIE fighter pilot than any other ground trooper.
Mm-hmm.
Their costume is, I like that it references costume. It's not armor anymore. This is just
a costume.
all for play. It's all a ruse.
Well, if you've seen Stormtrooper armor block lasers or anything else, it kind of is just for play and fun.
True, especially with the modified helmet and breathing apparatus. So they're pretty similar to the TIE fighter pilots, but they're a little bit different. They have the white with the red going on.
Well, for me personally, I like, look, I got covered up. For me personally, I like the black version of them better if we were talking about like pilots.
Right.
So I would put them like in a C or even a D tier for the AT-ATs.
I think if we were going to put Mud Troopers in D, we have to put these guys also in D.
Okay. Yeah.
Because they're about as useless as Mud Troopers.
I would put Mud Troopers ahead of them as well too. So
okay,
and we're working. No.
What about
fine?
Okay, what do we want to make a quick sub? Mud Troopers to C.
Why? I don't want them in C. You're trying to twist my arm again. Like,
just reverse it.
Yeah. And what if we put Inferno and okay, so we'll do that when we put Inferno into S. Cool?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see what you're doing.
The next thing that you guys can see us doing is we're going to be talking about just standard Stormtroopers. The Stormtrooper is the classic Imperial enforcer. These troops do the dirty work against the Rebel Alliance and throughout the comics, books, and video games. Anybody who gets in their way are about to not be shot at correctly.
Yeah, they're going to keep being in their way.
But yeah, it's an instant classic look, translating a skeleton look into a space age body armor. Who the heck thought of this in the Imperial? Like, I know it kind of came from the clone trooper look to things, but who the heck was like, this is what we want all of our people to look like?
Yeah,
they're these
like
skeleton men.
And they're like, you know how the clone armor has a little bit of mobility?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we want to take that out entirely. We want clunky, more boxes, edges.
I actually did learn that Stormtrooper armor is not necessarily made to be armor. It's made to be intimidating.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right. So that's why, they need to just mass produce that stuff.
Right.
Ship it out into everybody who can be put into them. I think, if anything, these should go into the A tier.
I think A tier is fair.
Because they're classic.
They're classic, and it's like what I say about films. You can't appreciate the sequel without appreciating the first one, and this is the first variation, so it's at least got to be A.
So the next one here are Shore Troopers. They debuted in the Battle of Scarif in Rogue One. They wear a very different angular helmet and a tan suit of armor. Their individual ranks, like Captain and Commander, are color-coded in the as the clone troopers were, which is a nice subtle connection between the new films and the prequels. I really like Shore Troopers. I think they have just this kind of totally different look into them. You know what I mean?
Yep. I love them.
Like they are pretty classic already looking,
Yeah.
Plus they have that scout trooper kind of feel.
That's what I was going to say. I think before my words were, other than the prequels, for the original, this is who I was alluding to.
Yeah.
Like this is on par with Scout Trooper.
Okay, so then they're S tier.
Yeah.
I still would say that the Scout Trooper should stay ahead, at the very tippity top.
Right.
But that's where I would definitely.
They just look so
keep
cool.
them.
Just the color with like that light tan and the green.
Exactly.
I love it.
Talk to them about Snow Troopers, Logan.
Snow Troopers. They were first appearing in the Battle of Hoth. These highly successful soldiers can be seen again in The Empire Strikes Back.
Hey. So, I don't know how I feel about these. I never knew how I felt about snow troopers. They have like the fabric-y helmets. I don't know. Is it just me? And am I putting this too far out there? It kind of gave me KKK vibes.
Yeah,
they were just like white robes. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I never was into it.
Big white robes, or just like, we said the Empire, or the Stormtroopers rather, the classic Stormtrooper look was like skeleton-y, and this is just like
Ghost.
They were like, yeah, like I don't know if skeletons are quite scaring them, like, but people are pretty scared of ghosts.
Yeah, just put a sheet over them, and that'll keep them warm, I guess. I'm fine with putting these in a D tier.
I'm fine with that too. I like the Hoth get up. I just think I like the Rebels Hoth get up a little more than the Empire's Hoth get up.
I see. And if anything, if we want to be warm, we're going to be looking like those troopers from Solo.
Oh yeah,
you gotta have the fur.
The range troopers.
You gotta have the apple bottom jeans, boots with magnetic fur.
Boots with magnetic fur. That's how the song goes.
We're moving on to Sith Troopers, guys. Sith Troopers, also known as Sith Stormtroopers. Sorry, I thought it was about to say Sith Troopers, also known as Sith
Troopers.
Were elite soldiers in the Sith Eternal Army that were created on the planet Exegol during the New Republic era. These things, this gives me a lot of nostalgia, because when we were getting up into the Rise of Skywalker time, and it was just called Episode 9, there was that leaked poster that people were passing around saying, hey, this is the new poster for Rise of Skywalker. And nobody believed it, because they were just red stormtroopers. You had C-3PO with a bunch of weapons and stuff on it and everything.
Right.
There was a bunch of stuff, and people were just calling it fake the whole time. And we here at Chatter Squadron put our necks out there and said, this is real. It is real. We said that like 2 months before, and then the trailers hit and the posters hit, and they obviously were like, okay, this poster got leaked, so we're going to just like repurpose it. But there was a bunch of posters that look exactly like it. So it was one of those things, especially with the Sith Troopers, where it was like, okay, that was a big, lack of a better term, red flag that this is real.
Right.
Because why would somebody go out of their way to make brand new Stormtrooper red armor that like it's the First Order Stormtrooper armor, but it's got like a slit in the middle, and they got like these kind of carvings into them. I'm like, somebody didn't go through all the trouble to make a fake poster.
That's a lot of effort.
I really love the look of these Sith Troopers.
I like the look of them. They remind me of in Halo, when you can start like customizing your different armor.
Yes.
And you're just like, I'm just going to make it all this crazy red color.
In my opinion, I would put them in an A tier. Yeah.
I'd put, if I'm critiquing them and their armor, I'd put them in A tier. I do think having a Sith Stormtrooper is a little narcissistic on Palpatine's end. You know what I mean? It's like, how many different troopers do you need? It's like, at this point, I think Palpatine just kind of likes being the creative designer mind behind stuff. It's like, we need a new line of Stormtroopers. I call them the Sith Troopers. We'll make them red.
I feel like it might be one of those things, like when you have somebody step into a manager role, they just do a bunch of changes just to make it seem like they're
everything's new.
Exactly. It might be that they might be getting a new Stormtrooper guy in all the time, and he's just like, all right, I'm going to make like 5 more new ones.
Right.
These ones have fur. These ones are red. Let's get them, get them out the door.
It's like, how are these? We already have red ones. We gave them flamethrowers. Everyone's going to think these guys have flamethrowers. We did the red thing before.
Yeah, but I would say A tier for the Sith Troopers.
A tier, baby.
Just behind normal Stormtroopers and Death Troopers. We got 2 more here. Logan, I know you're taking... what are you doing? What is this?
It's my coffee.
Yeah, but what is that? This is a Star Wars show, Logan.
Right.
Thank you.
Better.
Do you guys see what you just did? Do you see what that is?
I hate Batman. I'm a Joker fan, if anything, so...
Not even just cover it up with Star Wars.
Not even DC, or Marvel, rather.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, no, I like Star Wars.
I'm going to stick in universe.
All right, talk about Purge Troopers, Lolo.
Purge Troopers, also known as Purge Troopers. No, I had to do it. Also known as Purge Stormtroopers, were Imperial soldiers led by the Sith Lord Darth Vader and the Inquisitors during the reign of the Galactic Empire, assigned to hunt down any surviving Jedi.
This is another nostalgic thing for me when it came to being at Celebration. they revealed real Purge Troopers because they were going to be in, we had to run. They revealed real Purge Troopers in the, what is that game called? Jedi Fallen Order. In the Fallen Order panel, they brought out Purge Troopers, and then they had them walk the floor, and I was able to get a picture with one of them. And it was pretty cool. So I think they're rad. I like the red. I like the red shoulder guard and everything.
Yes.
They kind of have that feeling of, like you were saying, with prequel stuff with General Grievous and the Electra guards.
His guards.
So what do you think about Purge Troopers?
I would think no less than A tier, to be honest with you.
I would put them ahead of Sith Troopers.
Okay.
Not ahead of normal Stormtroopers or Death Troopers.
Right here.
Do you agree?
I would, because I like the red. I'm a sucker for shoulder pads when you have that one colored shoulder pads like a lot of the clone armor has, which is always very cool. I love the red. I think this might be the most tasteful red uniform that the Empire has done.
Tasteful. That's an interesting.
Well, because the all red, it looks cool, but it's a little too much. And the Incinerator Troopers, I hate them, as we know. It's like, this is the best of both worlds. They're basically Death Troopers with a little hint of red with the shoulder pad, and they have the cool electric guy. I'm talking myself into S tier. I don't know.
I'm fine with S tier if you ask me.
I think honestly. I'm bumping them up.
I'm down for that. So we're moving on to the final one, which is jump around jump troopers, also known as Imperial jump troopers. We're just repeating ourselves so much. Or rocket troopers were specialized stormtroopers utilized by the Galactic Empire prior to and during the Galactic Civil War. These guys are pretty cool. They kind of are copying Jango Fett's style. They were like, let's go back to basics. What did we clone those guys out of again? Like Jango Fett. Yeah, let's take that too. We took the clone trooper armor and made it our own. Let's just take Jango Fett's thing and make it our own too. We're the Empire.
Didn't he have, what did he have, like a jetpack or something? Yeah, give him a jetpack.
Give him a jetpack. I don't know. We'll call them jump troopers.
Jump trooper.
Yeah.
It's like jet troopers, jump troopers.
Well, we jetpack. We don't really jump. Like the jetpack does the jumping.
Yeah.
I already named it. I typed it in. It's what it is.
It's done.
These guys are cool. I mean, honestly, they're cool. I would put them in like the C or B tier. They're not like next level.
I like the shoulder pad, as I said.
Yeah.
No joke. I really do like that colored shoulder pad.
I know what to get you for Christmas.
Shoulder pads.
No, just one.
Just one.
One shoulder pad.
Accent. I will say these are, if I was going to be a Stormtrooper, I think I would be a jump trooper. I think it truly is the most useful in battle to have.
Oh, that is true.
You know what I mean? I genuinely think it is. So
so you would be a jump trooper. I would be a scout trooper. And the thing is, though, I have less armor. I'm a little bit more mobile.
True.
So I'm like punching a baby here. I'm like kicking an Ewok there. So I can handle the ground stuff, the ground children. Right. You can handle the air children.
I'm just shooting kids in the sky. Yeah. I'm shooting a baby over here. I'm shooting Grogu down there.
Okay, now it's getting a little too. Like when I said it was funny. Now when you say it, it just sounds bad.
Well, I don't hit them, obviously.
You're a stormtrooper. So you're like shooting at them at the very least. Okay.
I like to think I'm riding on your back of your speeder and then I jet off.
Okay, so we just made this like tag team pair of like a jump trooper and a scout trooper.
Right. Tornado tag. We got to be in the ring at the same time.
Yeah, we're a tag team.
We can't. There's no tagging.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So that's coming to a theater near you soon. But you talked about being a jump trooper. I feel like you want to put okay, you just put on beat. Go for it. Why the heck not? Okay, so that is the definitive tier list. I'm going to see if I can full screen that. Yes, look at that.
Bam.
So we have Scout Troopers, Shore Troopers, and Purge Troopers in the S tier. We have Death Troopers, Stormtroopers, and Sith Troopers in the A tier. We have the Magnetic Troopers and the Jump Troopers in B tier. We have the C tier, which is, what the heck is that? The name of that? The
C tier. That is the patrol
troopers. Even their name is like a C-tiered name.
Lame.
And then we have Incinerator Troopers. We have Mud Troopers, AT-AT, and Snow Troopers, all in D tier. So the biggest question we have to ask you guys is, do you agree with that? Yes in the comments or no in the comments. Please put some things in the comments. And Logan, are you satisfied with this list?
Yeah, I'm satisfied. I thought you were going into like a little Sound of Music type of deal with like Range Troopers, Scout Troopers, Death Troopers, Mud Troopers, Stormtroopers,
drivers, Stormtroopers, Shore Troopers,
Purge Troopers, Death. I already said that.
Purge Troopers, Jump Troopers, we're working together.
Troopers and Troopers.
I wasn't doing that.
Oh,
no.
okay.
I know we just did that, but that's not what I was going for.
the whole thing.
The whole thing. No. But if anybody also is good at art, I would love to see us, the tag team pair of the Jump Trooper and Scout Trooper.
Yes.
Flying around kicking babies.
I'm shooting at a baby, missing though.
Right.
Obviously.
And I'm missing the kick too. Right. I mean, listen, everybody loves Dave and John when they did Mandalorian. It's like they could do no wrong. They are the best things that ever happened to Star Wars. And yet they legit put a adult person punching a baby in a bag several times. And people were like, yes.
Yeah. And then they made that baby.
We're making a joke about it now, and I'm like, "Oh, I don't know if we should say." We're not actually like punching babies.
Yeah,
I'm
not punching a baby. I'm not punching a baby Yoda.
That's what we do after the show,
right? So let's go get those babies. I can hear them down there.
Right. So
screaming.
Speaking of after the show, if you're a patron at a certain level, you can watch the post show, which we do at the end of every single episode. We do a little film thing so you can watch some more candid, uncensored thoughts over at patreon.com/Chatter Squadron. You also get a shout out on every single episode at a certain tier. So shout out to Commodore Marroquin,
Commodore Marroquin,
Commodore Rayside,
Commodore Benty,
and Commodore Mellish. Speaking of things that we do and have, our last episode of the first season of Fun and Villainy is next week. So be sure to check that out. And also stay tuned on your podcast apps because we are going to be doing our review on Visions. I'm almost done watching all of them.
Oh,
and then we'll probably watch all of them together and do a little audio only review over there. So be sure to still be subscribed to our audio RSS feed.
Oh yeah, baby.
Anything else, Logan, that you would like to leave people with before we go?
I thought the Sound of Music song was
I don't want to sing that again. It wasn't even good the first time we did it.
No, it was not.
So come back next week and we'll do something good. Is that a selling point?
Juggling?
I can juggle.
I can juggle.
Maybe we'll juggle.